the presentation today is just a presentation. So it's not legal advice, meaning I'm going to tell you a few things. If you have a question at the end, or if you have a question throughout the presentation, or if I'm going to say something that's somehow relating to your situation, doesn't mean that it's applicable in your specific situation. We advise hire an attorney and discuss your specific situation with that attorney. Okay, so what's online presence? A brand or a company might have presence online in various forms. And we are talking about protection today, so all these things are things that you have to build and protect. Some of them, they belong to you. Some of them are not under your control. For example, your domain name, and I know that we had a discussion here yesterday about domain names. How can I acquire a domain name? What should I do to protect it, and so on and so forth. It's a form of property, it's a form of intellectual property, it's yours, and you should protect it. Your website, everything on your website belongs to you. And again, it's quite important, it's a form of intellectual property as well. What are you going to do if somebody out there is going to copy the text that you have on your website? Do you have to register? You don't have to register your text with the Copyright Office. You have to register your pictures. That's another topic. Listings. We have on the left-hand side an example of a Google listing. That's part of your online presence. It's not 100% dependent of what you're doing. Maybe Google decides to present your business in a certain way. However, you have control over it, and we'll discuss a little bit later about the case involving Google and the decision that just came out from the Supreme Court of Canada. Social media pages, that's something that you do, blogs, review websites, not necessarily too much control there, and third-party social media. We'll go over that towards the end of the presentation. So, again, going back to the domain name, and easy to remember, probably as close as possible to your corporate name or your trademark would be the ideal domain name. I gave you, as an example, our domain name, which is fashion.law. I think everybody can remember it. It's easy, it's catchy. The content. The content of your website is copyrighted, which means that the moment you wrote it, it belongs to you. The pictures, if you took the pictures and you have a consent from the model, they are yours, they belong to you. So more or less everything on your website belongs to you. The question is, can you take any affirmative steps to protect it? If somebody takes a picture from your website, or if somebody takes the text of your website, can you actually go after the person and try and shut down the website, or try and get damages or anything like that? And the answer is yes. Without any affirmative steps, if somebody copies text from your website, you can definitely request that person to take it down, to change it, to modify it. If somebody takes a picture that belongs to you and it's on your website, you can definitely request that person to take it down and modify it. However, you would be doing it on your time, which means you would have to pay an attorney, the attorney would have to call that person, and that person would refer you to their attorney, and it's going to cost you a lot. And the easy way to do it without paying attorney's fees is to register. So we usually suggest that you register your copyright for everything that you have online. You register with the Copyright Office both in the United States and in Canada. It's relatively inexpensive, $50 to register a copyright, so that's almost nothing. But if you have to fight on your copyright, there are statutory provisions for attorney's fees, which means that you don't have to pay that expensive attorney out of your pocket.